Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about the Chinese New Year. Happy New Year! Well, maybe the day you're watching it, it's not New Year. This year, in the year 2021, the Chinese New Year is on February 12th. So it's a little bit after our calendar New Year, which is December 31st into January 1st. So it's a little bit different. And the reason that is because it's based on the moon cycle. So depending on whenever the moon is coming around at the right time of year is the Chinese New Year. All right, so it's different a little bit every year, and usually it's around the first or second week of February. Sometimes it's in January, depends on the year, okay? So let's talk a little bit about Chinese New Year traditions and how they might be similar or different than ours. But before we get super into that, what is this Chinese New Year all about? Now, the story goes, and this story comes from 1766 BCE, and that's before the Common Era. So that was probably almost 3,000 years ago. So this is a very old story. And the story goes that a long time ago, there was this monster, this beast, and its name was the Year. Okay? And every year, the Year would attack the people that lived on the land. And this monster was pretty crazy looking. He had the body of an ox, which is like kind of a big cow creature, right? It had the head of a lion, and it lives in the ocean. So every year, this very crazy, scary monster would attack people. It was so frightening. And people eventually found out that you could scare off this monster with three main things: the color red. Hey, look, I'm wearing red. I'm scaring the year off today. Fire and loud bangs or booms. So what people decided to do that every year when this monster would be maybe attacking, they would launch fireworks into the sky to make big color red everywhere and make big noises. People would wear and decorate with the color red, and they would usually hang lanterns for that fire and kind of scaring away this monster. Now, this is what we call a myth or a legend. So this isn't necessarily a true story because we don't have all the facts, but maybe there's a creature that's out there. I don't know. Hopefully we don't find out, right? So a little bit about the traditions and things that happen nowadays for the Chinese New Year. It's kind of like a big family reunion. I know for our New Year, a lot of times you get together with your friends or your family to celebrate this new time, all right? And if it's like anything like my New Year's, I have a lot of food, all right? And that's the same for the Chinese New Year too. Usually there's fish, dumplings, all sorts of side dishes, and it's supposed to be like a time to celebrate. It's almost like Thanksgiving where you have a spread of food and it's a good time for all, and look how good things are right now, all right? And during the Chinese New Year and our New Year, a lot of people light fireworks to kind of celebrate. And for the Chinese New Year, they also have it to scare away any evil spirits or bad things that might be lurking around. And one really fun tradition that's kind of special for the Chinese New Year is that families and couples and older people will give these red envelopes to children with money in it. And it's supposed to be good luck to have this red envelope with money. So maybe we should start doing that over here too, right? And one really big tradition, I know I do for New Year, but maybe you do, maybe you don't, is actually really cleaning and like trying to make your house in order before the New Year so you have a really nice fresh start, right? It's a good way to start the year, have a fresh, clean home ready to go, kind of like a peaceful kind of a deal, right? So one fun thing along with this Chinese New Year is this thing called the Chinese Zodiac. And every 12 years, there's a new animal that represents that year, okay? So if you look really closely, if you want to pause the video here, I have a chart with all of the animals and different years that go along with it, all right? So, and there's a YouTube video link in here, and I'll put a link in my video of the story of how these 12 animals were picked, because they have the rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. So like, why were these animals picked over like, I don't know, a panda? Or why didn't they pick a turkey? I don't know. So you'll find, if you watch that clip, you'll find out a little bit more of how those animals were picked. All right. And if you looked really close at this chart and you already kind of figured it out, this year is the year of the ox. All right. So I'm going to take a pause for a minute because our project today is going to have to do with an ox, but every class is going to be doing something a little bit different. So stay tuned and find out what your class is doing for the year of the ox. All right, first grade, your ox project is going to be drawing an ox head with his huge horns. And if you have watercolor, we're going to be watercoloring these in school. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to. If you want to make some watercoloring at home, I do have a link to a video of how to make it, but really it's water and food coloring. So you are more than welcome to join us if you want to. The only thing I would recommend is if you are going to watercolor, try to get some thicker paper, okay? Because if it's really thin paper, it's going to want to curl up a little bit. So, I mean, you can do it and just be careful because it's going to want to. So you got to think about it, all right? So I'm going to show you how to draw one of these. And if you want to watercolor with afterwards, you can. Otherwise, color pen, crayon, marker, whatever you had at home, all right? So white paper and coloring supplies. So let's get into it and how to actually draw one of these big, scary looking creatures, right? They got big horns, they're frightening. So we're going to start by actually the head in the middle. You can see I picked a really long piece of paper because I wanted to make sure I had room for all of that, the horns that are in there. So to draw a bull head or some sort of like horse cow shaped head, it's kind of like oval, like an oval, like a human head, but it's kind of bigger at the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw kind of an oval at the bottom to start by the mouth. And I'm going to make it kind of big, kind of a chunky looking oval. All right. So that's going to be where our nose is. And if you want to right away, we can give him nostrils so that it can smell and snort and make all sorts of fun noises, right? His little nostrils, right? You know, under a nose is your mouth to open up and eat some food. So we're going to give him a little kind of mouth down here and just a curved line, his bottom lip. It's going to make sense a little bit, I promise. All right. So from your nose oval, we're actually going to kind of make a big kind of balloon shape. All right. So we're going to start by one nostril and we're going to go up, around, and down. It's going to look kind of like a hot air balloon, right? Don't start drawing lines or decorating it like a hot air balloon, though. All right. Our bull's eyes, we're going to put kind of a little up top, a little higher. And I'm going to kind of do almost like angry eyebrows to start. Okay. So, because he's kind of squinting down when he's looking at you because he's so tall. And we're going to kind of add an oval or like a bottom of an eye that kind of curves up around. All right. Got our scary bull, right? They're pretty nice though. And so our bull can see, let's put some circles in here. And we can fill those in if you want to right away, or you could color them in with some color. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'm just going to color mine in because I can. All right. And from here, let's give this ox some horns. All right. So we're going to end up doing kind of a curving shape where it attaches to our head. And now, friends, you have an eraser and I don't. So I'm just going to pretend I have an eraser. I'm going to, by his eye, above his eye, I'm going to put a curving line on each side. That's where his horns are coming in. All right. And from here, I'm going to do kind of a nice curving line up. All right. I have a pretty big piece of paper and you don't have to fill the whole thing. I'm going to curve up. And I'm going to do the same thing where it curves and it gets kind of skinnier as it gets closer to the end to make a point. All right. So from here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do out and up. And I'm going to do out and up. All right. It's okay if they don't look perfectly the same because it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect in the real world, right? And from here, our ox needs to be able to hear. So I'm going to put these two kind of almost human eye shapes on the side of our ox's head. So I'm going to go up and down and up. And I like to put an extra little line on the inside going up. So it looks like you could shout right in there and you can hear what you're saying, right? And I'm going to do the other one up and down and up and a little line so we can hear what's going on. All right. From here, it's really up to you to decide how you would like to watercolor or color these in. I would recommend at some point using the color red somewhere. So I like doing this in first grade because it's fun to draw an animal and like learn how to draw some animals a little bit more realistically. But if you want to get a little more creative with this little guy, you are welcome to add some sort of an accessory. So what I mean by that is maybe your ox has a bow on top of his head. Maybe there is a hat. Maybe you have an earring. I don't know, you could get a little silly with this, that's okay. But I would like something colored in red here, okay? It could be your whole ox and you could do your background a different color, but I'd like to see red somewhere because like we said, red is a very lucky kind of special color for the Chinese New Year. So it's up to you to decide where the red's gonna go, all right? So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd be happy to help you out however I can. If you need supplies, let me know. I can get a stash in the office for you if you need anything. But other than that, when you're all done, make sure you take a photo and send it to me in that Seesaw app or email it to me if that's not working. And I am looking forward to seeing what your ox looks like and what maybe accessories you added with them. All right. Happy creating and happy Chinese New Year.